of Fire Emblem Awakening with Gaius. There's a voice clip of him going, "Sugar."
Duck, it's like those memes, but it's like the chance of New Jack killing you is low, but it's never 0.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
1 month, 2 months. The hours, days, and weeks passed as they would in times of terror or joy. But in this instance, Jack the Ripper's terror was ended, and the people of London became well rested. My time, considerably not suited for the rest, was now split between attending Harrington Academy and establishing a place for educating the children of the East End. Thank you ever so much for your help with school, Spencer.
Who is Spencer? It's probably a man. I just never heard this name before.
I've heard girls named Spencer.
Really?
Who is Spencer?
They're talking about their kid. I'm going to guess since they keep talking about prostitutes.
Yeah,
this
there's
is
like
a
an
woman.
adult here.
It's a novelty store.
Nika, would you
We'll
please?
We'll make it a woman, so I think Nika and Minnie have a chance to talk today. Oh, is Nika there?
Let it go ahead.
She's on mute.
Think nothing of it. Leaving the building empty would have given the prostitutes reason to keep using it. I feel like it's a guy because they just use prostitutes in the third person. I rather like it. My kid can barely study here too.
The textbooks that were donated have arrived, my lady. My lady. So I gathered them inside for you.
Thank you. Would you be so kind as to put them on the shelf for me, Jack? But where is the best spot for them?
I think the bookcase at the back would be nice. The bottom shelf is empty, so you could put the ones on the alphabet there. Would allow the small children to reach them.
That's a wonderful idea. You're so considerate, Jack.
No, that ain't true. You two are the portrait of a husband and wife.
Goodness, Pendleton. I know it's true, but to hear you say it out loud is another matter altogether.
I feel a bit awkward now.
Our life now is like a dream, isn't it?
Pardon, Miss Whiteley. You are in class.
She's out like a light. Look at that smile, too. Must be some dream she's having.
Good lord. I suppose we have to fetch him yet again.
My lady, please wake up. If you're not up within 5 seconds, I shall toss your dessert into the bin.
What? No! Have I?
You fell asleep again.
Drat. Could you not have woken me in a more conventional manner?
I've learned to take your dessert is the best way to go about it.
Jack, having completed various tasks required of him as a butler to the Whiteley family, was granted permission to continue his studies at the academy. The details of how he obtained permission eluded me. The credit belonged wholly to Pendleton, but when I pestered him for details, his mouth remained adamantly closed. I'm awake, but life now is still a dream to me. He was given the death penalty, but here he is, alive and able to study with me again.
It's funny how the world changes. Jack's the one to wake Emily now. He used to be the one to sleep through class.
Ah, but his grades were always rather high, unlike yours.
That's true. The last bit hurts me, though. Why do I look like this now? Oh, hello!
He's smarter than he looks, the Jack. I wonder if he's even smarter than you, Akechi.
Akechi?
Sorry, I was muted and I forgot. That I do not know. I am encouraged by how he's mending his indolent ways since returning, however.
Class? The lesson isn't over yet. Now, if everyone could pay attention.
We've got quite a bit to do even after school is done, don't we? Today's tasks are...
First, I shall escort you to Bow Road? Boat Road? I shall escort you to Bow Road directly to inspect an old church. Permit me to carry your bags.
Now, I told you not to be so stiff on academy grounds. We're schoolmates, aren't we?
Sorry.
There was no hiding the remorse in his features as he followed me out of the classroom. Why won't you walk at my side, Jack?
Because it's easier to do my job from here. You'll always be in my line of sight.
But it's a queer sight to others if we walk single file like this. We aren't soldiers. Oh, look! See? Everyone is staring! Did Pendleton put you up to this?
It was my idea. I'm not one to show my back to the enemy, and I'm proud to have found a way so that neither will you.
Pardoned, but I wasn't praising you. I do know your reasoning comes from the heart, of course. So for that, thank you. I like that part of you.
What's brought that on? Well, we'll be late if we keep at this. Up to it!
What? Wait, don't push me.
Come on, keep up, or you might trip.
What's gotten into you, Jack? Jack? Now he's being the complete opposite of stiff. Could that have brought this on?
Jack is one lucky bloke. I wonder if I'll ever look back on my younger years as fondly.
If you don't finish that report, I'll see to that you won't live long enough to look back on your younger years.
Right. And don't say something like that.
The evening was an enjoyable one, accompanied by an after-meal cup of tea. The tea is delicious, Jack. It's Prince of Wales, yes?
Yes, I'm happy you like it.
The orange scones and acacia honey are absolutely delectable. They complement the tea perfectly.
I'm honored you think so highly of them.
Do you have something you'd like to say, Pendleton?
Yes, I do. You are too lenient with him, my lady. He is still unrefined in his manner to have earned the degree of praise you shower upon him.
I disagree. I find him to be remarkably dignified. The tea he brews is comparable to yours in quality as well. You have done well in your instruction.
Thank you for the compliment. By the way, I have both good news and bad news to present. Which would you prefer to hear first?
The good news, then.
You have received a formal offer of marriage.
Me? Marriage? Me? This was sudden. Too sudden. I was stunned into blank thought. The shaking in my hand was so rousingly violent that by the time my composure was somewhat restored, more tea was on the floor than in my cup.
His name is Kyle Howard, and though he is young, he has made a name for himself as a skilled businessman in the publishing industry. It is only very recently that he has only begun to engage in other philanthropic ventures.
Please, I need a moment. I looked to Jack, who was standing at my side. And he looked at nothing. His expression was as calm as a butler's should be.
He learnt of you through Mrs. McLeod, whilst they discussed her own benefits in establishing your school. She speaks very highly of him, so why not meet in deference to her? It is also just as well that a young woman of the nobility interact with other members in her class.
But...
He is the younger brother of Baron Howard. Upon hearing it, he expressed a great interest in your project to establish a school in the East End. Quite possibly enough interest to assist in funding. This all sounds like wonderful news to me.
it's a bit too wonderful. Well, then let's hear the bad news.
That concerns your school's real estate payment. The deadline draws near.
Oh, that's very sudden.
Yet it is the truth. As your butler, I've worked to manage the family assets in an effort to increase profits. But I fear the school expenditures with our mansion's common costs have placed a strain on the finances.
I understand.
There is also the matter of you being both the head of your household and a woman. Requiring that any suitor of yours give up his own surname and marry into your family is a lot to ask. That alone would be enough to send most men running.
I understand my position, but I simply don't wish to think about marriage.
You may wish it all you like, but now is the time to start.
Pendleton commanded the butler's manner of detachment, and more strongly than Jack, not through a face devoid of expression, but through words that cut deep. It equipped him with a callousness he knew could hurt, and he wielded it now as needed.
My lady, you must be ever conscious of your role as the head of House Whiteley. Don't you agree, Jack? Aye.
For a brief second, his inexperience was exposed through wide eyes. It was so quick that I could have tricked myself into believing he never made such a face.
I quite agree.
Jack, you...
If it does you no displeasure, my lady, I've work that needs tending to and will have to excuse myself.
Oh, Jack! He retired swiftly with his head down. There he goes. What an awful mess. Pendleton, bring me those papers.
Of course. I have the papers regarding Mr. Howard right here.
I don't care for that. I want the list of children enrolled in workhouses that I put together. It should be in my room, so kindly get it for me. Talks of marriage can wait till later. I didn't want to look at potential suitors now. It was nonsense, this suitor business. Pendleton, thankfully, brought me the papers I'd asked for with all due haste, and I went to work spreading them across the table.
If you continue with that terrifying pout, Jack won't be the only man in London sent running.
Why don't you run away too, then?
I think I will. Your mood leaves much to be desired.
He retired as well, a frightful grin that lectured me more than words upon his lips. I quite agree, he says. How could you, Jack? I know that he's a servant, but you could have said something. A good night's rest did nothing for my mood. Marriage was a heavy burden, and my mind was fully anchored down despite longing to think of anything else. Yet, anchored or freed, my routine was not to change, and so I brought the subject to my friends.
My, he wishes to go straight to marriage.
So it appears. I've not given him an answer yet.
I know you're of the nobility, but it feels too soon for you to marry.
Not at all. She's almost 17. Noblesse oblige compels her to be a role model for society.
Mabudasu Buri.
Noblesse oblige is a concept that those of wealth and power must act as a proper example for society as a whole. Those who follow it have fine families and may willingly contribute towards the betterment of their people.
I think Miss Whiteley is a very fine lady. She won't have any trouble finding a man to marry.
What about you, Jack?
What about what? Why are you staring?
You know what and why. It isn't exactly my place to say, but how do you feel about all this?
I don't care.
Enough to never regret it if you don't do anything about it?
With nothing to keep us once lessons were finished for the day, Jack and I left the school building. Only something was to keep him, an unidentified something. He stopped.
Wait,
What is it?
I left something in the class. I left something in the classroom. I'll be back in a minute, so wait here.
I'll come with you.
No, you can't. Just wait. Over here. Then point your back this way. Point your back this way. That's good.
This is just silly. You worry far too much. He ensured my back was to the wall and that I was standing in a position where the Academy's guards were able to see me before disappearing within the grounds. I listened to the northern wind. The trees rustled in response, and to hear it brought me a lonely unease. I like things as they are now. Why can't we stay like this forever? My feelings haven't changed. I want to have faith that his haven't either. Why am I not allowed to know the answer for sure? Crows cackled, flying across the evening sky to announce the day's end.
My apologies for keeping you.
No, I didn't mind.
Very well. We'd best be off.
The horse pulling the carriage neighed handsomely to set the journey off. So it was that Jack and I were reunited in a carriage that once felt much more spacious, now ponderously lacking, even when we sat opposite of one another. He said nothing, preferring the view from the window to my company. Look at that, Jack. How did you get blood on... With caution, I extended my hand to his. He nearly slapped his face with the speed he moved to touch it. Jack opened his eyes wide, for he knew right then that it was a ruse. There was no blood. That he was so quick to act, however, told me everything I needed to know. What dangerous thing had he done? What wrong had he committed? I knew it! You thought there might very well be blood, didn't you?
You were bluffing?
Yes, I wanted to test your reaction. Forgive me, but does this mean you're...
No. It's just a force of habit.
fingers still had yet to become plump with healthy meals. Perhaps he would always be a dreadfully thin person, with dreadfully thin fingers that turned bone white when squeezed with irritation as they were now. He refused to meet my eyes.
I hope your meeting with that suitor goes nicely.
Why would you say that? I've said nothing about it.
Ain't no harm in a meeting with the chap. I want you to have a good life. That's all I want.
To speak of it so calmly pierced my heart. How? How could I have prepared for this? In what way did I deserve this? I had to work to keep my voice steady from the anger that built within me. I don't need your blessing on my getting married. Why?
Try not to look like such a fright.
I'll look at as much as I want now. You know how I feel, don't you? You know that I love you. Every day. I tell you every single day. But ever since that night, you haven't said it back to me once.
I love you. I'm plain nuts over you. There. That enough?
You're making it sound as if I forced you to say it.
I'm just a servant to you. I talk as myself at school, 'cause that's what you ordered me to do.
You can't mean that. Please, tell me that isn't how you feel. Tell me that it's a matter of our social classes. Can't you?
No. A man's feelings can change over time. That's why I'm not saying what you want.
Oh. Before I could control the urge, I slapped him. How dare you? Are you pretending to be someone you're not for my sake? Don't you make a fool out of me? My palm stung from the strength I had put into it, but he was motionless. I looked more hurt than he.
Are you happy now?
God, just suit yourself. For the rest of our journey, we exchanged nothing. Not to comment, not to question. I simply felt anger towards Jack. Well, not so simply, for I was distraught at having lost something important to me as well. The two conflicting emotions swirled in my head with the constancy of a vortex, granting me a dizzying emotional fever I found difficult to bear. Alicia was the one to assist me in changing upon my return home.
Ika.
Welcome home, my lady. You're back early today. Is something troubling you? Did you, dear? You didn't quarrel with Jack, did you?
It hardly qualified as quarreling. Rather, Alicia, you looked flushed with happiness.
Do I?
May I ask something? Do you have a lover?
Well, my lady, what's brought that on? Though I regret to answer that I have no one.
But you have someone you fancy?
With respect, I am a loyal servant of this family. With
Oh, but everyone falls in love. You must turn heads with how pretty you are, Alicia. There has to be some man out there who's caught your fancy.
Will you swear not to repeat this to anyone?
Of course, I won't tell a soul.
It's the milkman, Wallace. He's just a sweet person, and I'm charmed by that shy smile of his.
I know him. He's the young man who comes by with that hand cart every morning. He seems to be quite popular with the maids in the kitchen as well.
Indeed. He lifts my spirits every time I see him. We've spoken quite often, Bit. He's recently invited me to go to a restaurant with him on one of my days off.
You're a beautiful person, so it wasn't any wonder to me he would take a shrine to you.
Beg your pardon? It's not right to talk about personal matters like these whilst I work. You really won't tell anyone, will you? Earlier had made none of this particular appropriate of me.
You needn't worry. I would never forbid the family servants from falling in love. I should think you would worry more about what Pendleton would say. He would never stop teasing you if he knew.
That won't do. Why? If the matter were brought up suddenly, I may drop a plate or make some other mistake. Please, I ask that you keep it very secret.
Oh, it very well much will be.
I'm in your debt, my lady.
After excusing herself properly, she retired from my room to do more laundry. She's so lucky. She can love and marry anyone she wants. I suppose there are some things she can't do that I can, however. I can attend school at the very least. A pity that the world is yet to be a place of true freedom. Pendleton, I've chosen to meet with Mr. Howard.
Have you? To what do I owe this change of heart?
Mrs. McLeod has been a great counsel to me throughout my endeavors. It wouldn't do to reject this act of kindness on her part. You mentioned he was interested in educational investments too, didn't you? Perhaps we'll suit one another.
I'm glad you've made up your mind. Will you be seeing him Sunday then?
Yes, I'm only agreeing to meet with him, however. That's all. Sunday arrived. We gathered for afternoon tea in the immaculate garden of the McLeod mansion. To couple this garden was the sun, which beamed unobstructed by clouds or any sort of foul weather. It was the perfect setting for the occasion.
Nay, go ahead. Do an other voice if you can.
You don't know the joy it brings me to have inspired this meeting. Miss Whiteley, Mr. Howard, I confess, I have always suspected the two of you would make for a smart match.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Mr. Howard.
James?
The pleasure is all mine, Miss Whiteley. I see you are every bit as lovely in person as I have been led to believe.
My prospective marriage partner greeted me with a smile. It was sincere, as was he. I'd soon noticed after our introduction. His actions were poised for the wealth and still befitting a good man who had to earn my affections. There was courtesy in the way he stood, the way he seated himself after he assisted me, the way he conducted himself in the presence of unknown company. I should make this plain before we take this further, but I lost my parents at a young age. Once I'm graduated from school, I intend to formally inherit the family name.
You intend to have me marry into your family rather than you into mine? I find that agreeable. I am the second son of the Howard family, and you may have heard, so to be adopted by the House Whiteley is of no concern to me. And if it gives you some peace of mind, I lost my parents during my school years ago. I have some idea of how you must feel. I truly am grateful to Miss McLeod for arranging this and allowing me the honor of speaking with you.
Oh my, you mustn't think so highly of me. He didn't so much as flinch upon the idea of giving up his name. What unexpectancy! I'd come here to surprise him as a woman of free thought, but he surprised me more by being exactly as I hoped to proclaim. Indeed, this was no act on his part. He was a true progressive gentleman whose mind was constantly craving new ways in which he may grow richer through humanitarian efforts.
He is an impressive man, isn't he? There are so few gentlemen in this world who would accept your condition without giving it a second thought.
I'm at a loss if this conversation ends on the assumption that we'll be married.
Well, we ought to leave the two of them alone.
A fine thought. I shall be over there if you need me, my lady.
The two stepped away, leaving just Mr. Howard and me. Oh, goodness, I have no idea how to behave with an older man.
Please relax. I have no particular expectations. Would it trouble you if I mentioned your interest in educating the children of the East End?
He smiled again. It was still as sincere as the first one he gave me. I wouldn't mind. You see, I am in the midst of establishing a school where children without means can eat and study.
What a difficult task that would be, and yet it is one absolutely worth doing.
Truly, he agreed with my idea. To hear it from another, a stranger, gave me genuine pleasure. At this moment, I am drawing up a list of all the children in workhouses. This is not so simple a thing as it may sound. There are many who have run away or lost their lives without any record of their deaths. For the list to be thoroughly complete, there is much research to be done.
I can find that school isn't just a place for academic studies, but a place to learn about society and the world as a whole over a healthy meal. If the people don't have at least a minimal amount of education, they cannot take control of their futures. Schooling is a necessity for them to head their own destinies regarding... My goodness, I'm sorry. Schooling is a necessity for them to head their own destinies regardless of their parentage and social class.
It was through Her Majesty's generosity that I've been able to attend school. It's afforded me so much more potential than I could ever have dreamt. And now I want to share that, however small, with the children of the East End.
You are very much ahead of your times in your thinking, I must say. Everyone in the world has the right to an education, whether they were born, when, who their parents were, man, woman. These are trifles and are not an excuse to deny such vital experience up to any one individual. Would it be offensive to ask if it has been hard for your finances to give birth to this idea?
It has been shamefully difficult. As it stands, I do not have enough to see it to completion.
I've heard your family's home was once lost in a fire, so that must have helped your woes. Miss Whiteley, whether you choose to wed or not, I would like to support your efforts. In places such as France and Italy, I have studied the future of education, so if it isn't too bold of me to proclaim, I may be of assistance beyond money.
What a genuine man. He's considering me beyond marriage, considering my ideas and beliefs on my education. He seemed too good to be true. I was convinced he would stand and leave upon hearing that he would have to marry into my family, but far from it. The conceit I've shown! How could I have come here on an impulse? Come here simply because I was annoyed with Jack? This could change the course of my entire life!
Our conversations today have been a delight, Miss Whiteley.
Oh, yes, I think the same.
You are, quite clearly, a lovely young woman. If it pleases you, I would have us marry as soon as you are sure fit. But by soon, I do not mean now. Take as much time as you need to consider it. You're at a delicate stage of your own education, and I by no means wish to push you for an answer. Another thing, even if you were to decide against getting married, I would still, quite strongly, like to support your educational adventure. I wouldn't want you to feel I'm using you as a bargaining tool for your hand.
Thank you very much. I thank you.
You're very welcome. I look forward to hearing your answer, then.
I wanted to smile, as he had been so kind to me, but it felt so unnatural for me to do it. I excused myself from a wonderful visit with a wonderful man, an upstanding man, feeling a deep woman's shame from knowing that I could never come to love him. The sun had set when I returned from the MacLeod... How do you say that?
McLeod.
You can highlight
McLeod mansion to my own.
Welcome back, my lady.
Good afternoon, Jack.
May I ask how it went?
It went well. He was very much a good man, but...
But?
It is nothing. I'm feeling a bit tired, so I'm going to rest in my room.
Very well.
I fled up the stairs. The guilt was building upon each step. The first thing I did as I entered my room was slam the door behind me and dive into my bed. Why did my body feel so heavy? If I'd known I was going to feel so guilty, I would have never agreed to meet him. I'm a horrible person. I shouldn't have been so cruel to Jack either. A knocking came at the door soon after.
May I enter, my lady?
As I had little want to speak, I stood and went to open the door for my guest. There was Jack, a tray with a lovely tea set in hand.
I brought you some tea, in case you'd like some before you sleep.
Jack, you're not angry with me,
I'm not angry.
He placed the tray on the table.
If it's not impotent of me to ask again, how was it?
The meeting?
Right. What else is there?
He was taking the matter very close to his heart. He listened to me as I talked of the school with great interest as well.
So then, you'll agree to it?
No, I plan to politely refuse him.
You sure of that?
Yes, very sure. I nodded, looking up to Jack to see what my words would bring. His eyes were so beautiful, a scarlet like no others, even when masked by his hair, which he still had yet to groom to perfection. Beneath his fringe were beautiful and sad eyes.
Thank God.
What?
Emily, I can't take another minute.
He leapt to wrap his arms around me, to squeeze me till I could no longer breathe. I was still, and he trembled as he held me. By the second, this trembling grew more violent as one did when weeping. Jack, you're hurting me.
I was gonna fix it. I was trying to change how much I loved you, bit by bit. I swear. But I just can't do it. Sorry. I'm really sorry. All I want is for you to be happy. And that'd make me happy too, I thought. But
I don't understand you at all. I reach to cling to his coat and grant him security. Why did you make no attempt to stop me? Why did you say you wanted to go nicely? I know that you must. I know that you must if others are present, but Jack, you said such things even when we were alone.
How could I tell you? You want I should stand right here and tell you not to marry all your life?
That's not it. I'm the only one who ever says that I love you. You never say it back to me. These months have been so painful for me. I wondered countless times if you no longer loved me. What if I had to wonder forever? Oh, the curse to my soul that it would be to never know. And I thought that was just how it was going to be. If only you would say you love me. I could do anything if I heard that.
Sorry, I really do. I love you so much that it makes me want to cry when it hurts bad enough. And ever since I got to live in here, I didn't think it was possible. But I love you even more now than I did.
He mumbled in a childish, apprehensive manner, so precisely, so closely that my ears flushed from his voice. He could not hold me close enough, and so with each new mumble, he chanced to hold me closer.
I don't want to hurt you or cause you to make a mistake that'd kill your chances. It terrifies me to think it. I'm terrified of myself for wishing it. What if I owned you and that'd be the end of it? What if I wouldn't have no more sense to let you go again?
Is that what you've been thinking? I'd entirely given you the blame for this, and yet you've always had me in your thoughts. I'm never going to marry, so forgive me. Forgive me, Jack. Please, forgive me.
Don't do that. You mustn't cry. Makes it look like I did it.
You aren't crying?
Well, I thought I was. But then you crying so much is like you crying for me. It's calmed me down, I suppose.
Jack soothed my back with his hand. Now just the lightest touch, again and again in a rhythm.
I knew the day was going to come, you getting married off and all. I want to be more gentlemanly for you, but I'm a servant. I ain't ever going to be able to marry you, not unless you abandon your family's name.
It won't have to be that way. I shall rebuild House Whiteley so I never need to marry.
Then I want to help you. Might take time, but I do want to support House Whiteley.
Thank you, but since you have to act the part of a servant in public, will you be with me like this when we're alone? Please.
Of course. I wish I didn't hurt you like I did. I'm sorry, Emily.
No. So long as we can be like this, that's all that matters. That you always look so impassive may work to our favor.
I don't look impassive so much as I always look sullen. And there's something else.
Is there? He backed away but a small distance to present a box that was small enough to fit in the palm of my hand. He opened the lid to reveal its contents.
I want you to have this.
It's a ring. Are you certain?
When I was given my first earnings from here, well, couldn't tell you how good it made me feel. First thing I bought was this.
Oh, this is perfect. I could faint. This is so thoughtful of you. Where did you buy it?
Where? Just a street stall in Covent Garden.
That explains why it looks like an antique.
It looks cheap, you mean? I wanted to give you a present, then I wondered if it looked like you were mixing in with the wrong people if you were seen wearing it, and changed my mind. But I couldn't bring myself to chuck it either, so I left it in the desk at school.
Would this be what you went back for the other day?
I figured it was about time I give up on it all. Don't know why I kept holding on to it.
How could you think to throw it out? I'm so happy you gave it to me. His expression had finally softened with joy.
Would you mind holding out your hand so I can put it on you?
Please do.
Which finger should I put it on, though?
Well, it's got to be the ring finger.
Alright.
For a man trained to be otherwise, Jack was, when our love was the subject, very clumsy. I thought it a darling quality, and my face burned with bliss as he, more clumsily and meticulously than I ever recalled him being before, slid the ring on my finger.
Is this alright? Does it fit?
Like a glove. I'm never going to take it off. Do you think it suits me?
I guess. People might get the wrong idea if it's on your left hand. You sure?
That's precisely how I want it. Who gave it to me can stay our secret. I shall treasure the case it comes into. I'll place it in the back of my drawer. Just as I turned to my desk, I noticed something different. Wait, has someone been near my desk? The papers aren't organized the way they should. What was this? Anytime one of the servants tidied my room, they would place my papers together in a neat stack. Anxiety crept at the corner, and so I moved to open the desk drawer to send it away. No one has been in to clean my room today, correct?
That's right. It only gets tidied on Mondays and Thursdays. Why?
My workhouse list isn't here. This doesn't make sense. I absolutely had it here. Jack and I stepped into the hall to search in another room.
Is something wrong, my lady?
Alicia, have there been any visitors today?
I'm not aware of anyone. May I ask why?
Alicia, please look after Lady Whiteley for me.
Jack, what's wrong?
I just remembered some urgent business. I won't be long.
I had no time to react before Jack dashed out of the mansion.
Greg, why don't you play Wallace too?
Come on, I haven't got time to waste. Move the cab. There's £1 in it for you.
What? I'm not going away for £1. Afraid you have to look elsewhere.
Once I've sold this document at the port, can pay you 5 times that.
5 times you say? Well, best of luck getting there on foot.
Have a pity, mate. Need to be out of town by tonight. If I'm not...
Hello there. Give it up, milkman.
Ugh!
In a single near instantaneous motion. The young man collapsed to the ground. The pages of the document he previously had in his hand were now scattered about.
What just happened? He's gone.
When the cab driver returned, there was nothing to be seen but the black of night. I searched blindly for the list till late into the night. I can't find it anywhere! Where is it? My desk again, my bookcases, and in between the pages of the books they cased, the cabinets, it was nowhere to be found. Jack returned as I was on the floor to inspect for foreign contents beneath my bed. I could see how uneven his breathing now was. He looked utterly drained. How? Jack, just where have you been till this late?
Oh, I was looking into something that wasn't worth the trouble. Have you still not found your list?
No, I can't find it no matter where I look. I'm worried someone may have stolen it.
It's too early to assume that. Perhaps look behind that chest of drawers.
Well, true, I haven't looked there. By his encouragement, I peered behind the mahogany chest of drawers, and when I did... My, there it is! I couldn't believe it. I missed it in such a simple place. How on earth did it fall back there? I'm so careful to keep it in my desk drawer.
You may have placed it atop the chest and it fell back behind on its own.
Jack gave a gentle sigh, then extended his hand to pick the document up. I only saw it for a moment. A new wound on his right wrist.
See? This is it, isn't it?
I leafed through the papers, which were woefully in the wrong order to how I always had them arranged. Someone broke into this room when I wasn't here. Someone who was looking into the family's affairs. But you returned my list to me. Thank you, Jack. How funny that it was here after all that panic. Who would have known?
Just keep him close in the future.
Jack chided me, but gently as was in his manner, he appeared normal again. Yet, I was hurt by this. I knew that he would never allow me to press him on what happened, and such a secret, yes, to keep something from me did hurt in some insignificant way.
May I come in, my lady?
Oh, just a moment, please. I became flustered. Perhaps Jack was not the only one between us who grew clumsy at the sight of their beloved, who was always made drunk and stupid when alone with them, but drunk and stupid in the most delightful way one could be either of those things. I looked in the mirror to fix my disheveled hair in a rush.
I'm alright. If you're worried, I mean.
Come in, then. The door opened and Pendleton was next to enter.
I wasn't aware Jack was with you.
He is. Do you take issue with that?
I suppose I don't. That aside, I am overjoyed that today's meeting went well. It makes me proud to see how he is already so fond of you. The only thing left to do is to give the eager man a response. What do you intend to do?
I intend to... I fell silent. Must he ask me such a thing in front of Jack? There was a feeling of some kind I could not shake then, an instinct that said he only asked when we were both present because he knew my answer. I intend to politely refuse his offer of marriage.
For what reason? Whether it is on paper or in person, he would be a perfect husband. He's taken an interest in your work. He is an intelligent, model gentleman, a man willing to give up his name for yours, and you would turn him down? What is it that you find lacking? You may never again find a man such as he.
All correct points, Pendleton. I do not disagree that he is a fine man.
Then you leave me more confused. Is there something about him you dislike?
Well, if you fancy him so much, then you have my blessing to marry him.
That is not what I am trying to say.
There isn't a thing wrong with him. It's less to do with him and more to do with me, as it happens. You see, I've chosen to never marry. Should any more prospective marriage partners appear, I wish you to turn them down on my behalf.
So you have settled on remaining unwed till your death?
I have. By all means, take it so directly.
That is not a way of life I would recommend, my lady.
Jack reserved an utterly serious expression as he turned to me.
You set on that? If you choose not to marry, then the family line will end with you.
I can always adopt a child if I need someone to inherit my name. I intend to create a school here. My thoughts and feelings will live through the children who attend. My bloodline, in a sense, will never truly end. Don't you think so, Jack?
I do. Very well. If you are so determined, then I don't believe anything I say will bid you a change of heart. I will drop the subject. Jack, unless a suitable partner appears for Lady Whiteley, we will be responsible for managing the family's finances. I know. I'll do all I can. Now, if you'll excuse me, you'd best retire for the night as well, Jack. Yes, certainly. Then I shall excuse myself as soon as I've tidied up this tea tray. Good heavens, you two are hopeless.
Pendleton shrugged his shoulders. His battle was lost, as he knew it would be, and so he once more politely excused himself from the room.
You really certain you're all right with this?
I've never been more certain of anything. Why, every time I look at this engagement ring you've given me, I've become more certain I've done the right thing.
Engagement ring?
Was that not how you intended it? Jack's face had become a deeper shade of red than I'd ever seen it. Then, after a pause, he gave a resigned sigh.
Women are a bloomin' tough lot. I don't know how you can speak like this ain't a choice that'll affect your life.
I know the weight of my choice. Do you think less of me for it?
No. I treasure you all the more, really.
Well, come on, let me see your wrist. I should like to tend to that wound.
You noticed, did you? Damn it. You're too clever for me.
By the time he resumed his work and cleaned the tray to be taken away, the sky was rising from its night-long slumber.
Come on, get up. My lady, please wake up. My lady, please wake up. If you're not up in 5 seconds. Oh, wow. I'm going to miss this game when we finish. If you're not up in 5 seconds, I shall have to eat you.
What? No, don't! I jumped up in a hurry.
Good morning, my lady.
Oh, I see. Yes. Good morning. Jack, when did I fall, asleep? And what was that you said?
I fear you'll have to begin dressing for school very presently, my lady. Any longer and you'll be late, so I should ask you to hurry.
I could not help but feel that, try as he did otherwise, he spoke in a terrible rush. He appeared calm on the surface, only his cheeks were colored by a light pink blush.
Good morning, my lady.
To you as well, Alicia. Is something wrong? You look a bit down.
It's odd. It wasn't the usual milkman who visited today.
Really? That is odd.
It's the first time someone else has come. I've not heard of anything about why he didn't come today either. We were meant to meet this weekend, so I've become quite anxious for him.
I'm certain there must be a good reason. Very unexpectedly was Jack, who made to engage in the discussion from behind me.
Alicia, I'm told Wallace has gone abroad to where a friend is waiting. That friend, you see, is in a good situation with his business. So good, in fact, that he asked Wallace to help run it. It seems things are on the up and up with him.
Well, is that so? This is all news to me, and so very sudden.
It's not as though I heard it from Wallace, but would you please keep this quiet? If Pendleton was to find out, I think it'd cause a bit of a problem.
Thank you for letting me know. But look, at the time, you two out to be going to school now. Have a safe trip.
Thank you. We'll see you in the afternoon. Our ride to school was not one of silence as before. We could speak, and finally I was able to request an answer to the question I desired most to ask. I'd like to ask you about Wallace. Did you...
What do you mean?
Tell me the truth. I haven't forgotten the wound on your wrist. You have a clear tell also. Your ears twitch when you lie to me.
There ain't a thing I can keep from you, is there?
Then you really did.
Yes. I sent him away yesterday. He's been nosing about the mansion a fair amount. I've seen evidence that he's been rewarded for what he's gathered round it.
Was he behind my list?
Yes. No doubt. No doubt someone in need of a trader to freely come and go from the mansion. Gain our trust. Go about some dirty work and such. I handed him to Scotland Yard. I don't believe he shall ever come round again.
Then why say such things to Alicia? What if she waits for him to come back for the rest of her life?
There are some realities that take time to accept. Besides, just because someone you love is gone now, don't mean you won't get to see them again. Even then, you just gotta believe in it, even if you know it's not true. I'd know.
Stop that! I wasn't lying to you yesterday. Jack, I truly never intend to marry.
I suppose you're right. You're a terrible liar.
Jack smiled. It was a sweet smile, slighted by the loneliness that came from being convinced of something that brought about nothing positive. He knew of the future of Alicia and Wallace, and in a sad sort of way, though I proclaimed him my one and only, found kinship in how hopeless yet hopeful love could be.
Hello there. Morning.
Have you two read the morning paper? There's a check stolen from Mr. Howard's mansion.
What? Really?
It isn't the first time that happened, they say. They only begun to notice it as of late. I am aware that you met with him yesterday, Miss Whiteley. As such, you're likely to come under suspicion.
Holmes, don't be daft.
Inspector Latron only brought the case to my attention this morning. I, of course, know that you're innocent. I have no intention of questioning you.
You have an idea who's responsible then?
Perhaps it's likely a trader who frequents his mansion.
I agree. It's likely one who's been coming and going for some time too. Or...
I'd like to hear your thoughts later, Jack. I'm greatly interested in your input. Would you care to accompany us to the scene after school as well?
Well, I shall need to ask Emily first. She is my master.
By all means, go and help them. I wonder if I might even join you.
No, I would prefer you not go anywhere near that mansion.
Oh, are you quite jealous?
Not at all. I was trying to be considerate of his feelings. I'll come along, but only after I've seen Emily home. Can you wait?
Certainly. It'd be good to have you.
Incidentally, may I ask how you feel Mr. Howard would be a suitable husband after meeting him?
Yes. I'm sure that's more the question on everyone's mind. The theft in the paper. So, is a young man? Out with it.
Don't speak as though I'm a suspect under interrogation. And he is a lovely man, but to be as blunt as you, he is not my man. I have turned him down, and I feel it is still far too early for me to consider marriage.
I see. That's a shame. May I ask then, why you're wearing that ring?
That's a secret. I will only say that it has nothing to do with Mr. Howard.
Well, whatever the truth is, knowing you're involved means it's far from a simple affair. The emblem on your ring does strike me as familiar, though.
Is it something bad, Holmes?
Nothing of the sort. Ignore me.
If you say so. Now that I know what you said, congratulations, Jack!
Why? I didn't do nothing.
You're quiet, but you must have been terrified when you heard about the meeting.
I don't know where you got that idea. I'm not...
I peeked back towards him. He stopped talking the very second I looked at him. A pause, a short, soft sigh.
I ain't worried. And I never have been.
Whew. I don't know if there will ever be another couple with more twists and turns.
Mr. Mackenzie should be here soon. We'd best settle down for class now. As though it wished to rouse us into action, the sound of the school bell rang out.
Welcome home, my lady.
Thank you, Pendleton. Oh, just from where did all these books appear?
I would be pleased if you used them in your school, Miss Whiteley.
Why, hello there, Mrs. McLeod. I hope I caused no offense by turning down the offer.
None at all. It's your life to live. Now, do you think these books will be suitable?
Father, look at the illustrations. They're beautiful. Huh?
Has something caught your eye?
It's the Howard crest on the back. Are these from Mr. Howard?
He told me not to say anything. But that didn't take long, did it? They are indeed a gift from him. Will you accept them?
But I rejected his offer. This is... I held the book close to my chest as though it were precious. How I wanted to cry right then.
You'll have to excuse me for now, Miss Whiteley. I only came to drop these off.
Of course. Thank you so very much.
You should you ever have any worries you feel you can't tell anyone, come to me, and I will lend you an ear. It can be related to the school or something else in your life. I will always be there for you until I die.
Upon a kind smile, she left the mansion.
Mr. Howard is an ideal man. You have let someone like no other go, my lady. Ordinarily, to meet one so ideal would be what is best for the family.
Yes, I understand what I did.
I say ordinarily because you're still young. It isn't a crime to engage in romance before marriage, nor is it wrong to fall in forbidden love. I may have experienced something similar once in my youth.
You were in a forbidden love, Pendleton?
I was talking nonsense. Please, forget I said anything.
Now, but I...
Mrs. McLeod was widowed half a year after marrying. She had no children, and she has spent 50 years refusing all other offers of marriage, choosing to support her family name entirely on her own. She will be an excellent advisor for you, should you need one. That's all I'll say.
Thank you, but I haven't forgotten what you said. Will you tell me the truth one day?
If you can overcome the suffering and joys you have set for your future, and become a fine woman, then perhaps. It is a shame that I am so strongly compelled to use if, for I hesitate to consider if you will ever become so fine a woman.
You're so rude!
Did something happen?
Oh, Jack! Nothing happened. Soon again we were greeted by the new guest, as another carriage had approached. It was, to my delight, Holmes and Watson who emerged from the door.
Hello again, Jack. We've come to pick you up.
We'll be going to the mansion immediately. Are you ready?
Alright, come in. If you will pardon me now, my lady, I won't be long.
All right. Do take care, Jack.
I beg that you avoid being alone under any circumstances. Until I return, then.
I'll be waiting for you till you're back. With the three now boarded, I stood and watched till the carriage grew small in the distance. Not until it disappeared did I tear my eyes away.
He has done an admirable job adjusting to his new life.
I think so as well. I only worry about how quick Holmes and Watson are. They've always been able to sense a crime brewing. Holmes in particular is likely to notice the wound on Jack's wrist if he hasn't already.
I didn't know till just now that you were aware of it.
It frightens me. I don't like that Jack has to dirty his hands out of my sight. I still love him dearly, but I need to gain more influence for his sake. The carriage is gone. I can't see it at all now. At least I still have this ring you gave me. For me, Jack, it's a symbol of the promise we made to one another. I will never take it off for as long as I live. I don't care if our love has to remain in the shadows. It is my everything, and it will forever be a blessing to us both. May their future be one of bliss.